अनंत भाव भेद थी भरेली भली अनंत अनंत नय निक्षेपे व्याख्यानी छे सकल जगत हितकारिणी हारिणी मोह तारिणी भवाब्धि मोक्षचारिणी प्रमाणी छे उपमा आप्यानी जेने तमारा खविते व्यर्थ આપવાથી નિજ મતિ મપાઈ મેં માની છે અહો રાજચંદ્ર બાળ ખ્યાલ નથી પામતાએ જીનેશ્વર તાણી વાણી જાણી તેણે જાણી છે ગુરુરાજ તાણી વાણી જાણી તેણે જાણી છે ઓમ નમઃ સિદ્ધેભ્યો ઓમ નમઃ સિદ્ધેભ્યો Om Sri Sudatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. Okay, I'm sorry for the delay. Okay, so stanza 4. So we are on the stanza number 4, Atmasiddhi stanza 4. What it says, it's in the third stanza, Srimadji mentioned about the blind ritualist and the other one who has only dry knowledge. He gives us some overview of both those type of souls. Remember, it's not somebody else. He's talking about us. Certain time I could be in the blind ritualistic. Certain time I can have a dry knowledge of dry knowledge only. And those are the things. He's talking about myself, not about somebody third person or somebody else. They both are ignorant about mistake they are making. Both are making mistakes. Blind ritualistic and the dry knowledge person making mistake, but they are ignorant about such mistakes. In the 4th and 5th stanza, he gives detail about such nature of such living being. He gives really great detail about those guys that are who are blind ritualistic or dry knowledge. So in this stanza, in the 4th stanza, he's going to describe in detail about the nature of the blind ritualistic living being. So now we are just going to go through this, embarking on that situation in which the blind ritualistic guy is being mentioned. So let's see the stanza here. Okay, so that's our stanza. Meaning of the stanza. What's the meaning of the stanza? Some living beings are busy in the external rituals only. Bahya kriyama rachta. Some living beings are busy in the external rituals only. Excuse me. Excuse me. There is no discriminative act seen within. Remember, the rituals that we perform has to lead me to discriminative science. It's called Veda Vigyan. Means I am the soul and this is the physical body, matter, substance, and they both are separate. And that kind of discriminating act has to arise within me. So just by external rituals only, there is no discriminative act seen within. Bahya kimata rasta antara bhedana kind. Jnana marga nishedta. Furthermore, he refutes the path of knowledge. Then he says, you guys are simply just having nothing else to do and keep on talking about soul and soul, soul and soul. Nothing else except soul. Keeps on blabbering whole day and night. You get out of my pathway because it is not, I don't need that blabbering. I just need to do some rituals. Such living being is called the blind ritualistic one. Bahya kriyama rachta, that's the first line. Antar Vedanakai, that's the second line. Bahya kriyama rachta, antar Vedanakai, Jnana marg nishedata te kriya jad aaye. So that's the meaning of the stanza. So read right now, Srimad Ji is very narrow focus on this blind ritualistic person only. And he is going to really beat very hard. He's going to hit very hard to such type of living being. So that's the simply meaning of the stanza. Now let's see. So bodily activity, this the blind ritualist guy is doing bodily activity. So what does he do? Since time infinite, the living being is satisfied with the external acts only. Bodily activities are the best for me and it stops there, and that is my reason for living, reason for my living over here. Do the fasting, do ekasan, do this, do that, all the bodily activities to be performed. He performs such rituals as customary form, Rudi Purvak, means because my parents told me to do it, my grandparents were doing it, my society was performing it. So if I'm saying that I am a Jain, then to be a Jain, I have to follow those rituals that everybody is doing. Once a year, Pratikaman comes, Samvatsari Pratikaman. Oh my God, that Samvatsari is back again. Hey, come on, you're supposed to be happy about it and you are showing disgust. Everybody in the house is doing upvas on that particular day. If I want to do, I have to cook myself and I don't know how to cook. Well, I'm forcefully going to do upvas. Is that the reason you are doing upvas? So he performs those rituals because other peoples are following that. He blindly follows the crowd. He performs the conventional activity and takes pride in it. See, I'm doing upvas once a year. What a big deal. I was told about some person in the city of Bombay. Every person he does 8 days of fasting regardless. So, wow, that's good. That's very nice. But then they said he has his own business. So usually he goes to business about 11 o'clock and come back about 6 or 6:30 in the evening. But during Paryushan, when he is fasting, he goes to work at 7 o'clock morning and returns at about 8:39. Why? So that way he doesn't have to remember about food. Is this the way to do 8 days of fasting? So this kind of people are doing that, they pride in it. Well, I do this every year, no matter what happens. This is not right. Bodily actions are considered as the death of the souls. 8 days of fasting person is doing and it says, now it's beneficial to my soul. And society also will give a tremendous respect to such person. Let's say there are 2 people in the same household and one is doing fasting and another one is doing all the regular activity, and as soon as time permits, he or she starts doing scriptural reading. Finds out time, extra time, and does as much as possible scriptural reading. Nobody is going to honor that person who is doing scriptural reading, but who has done fasting. Oh yeah, such and such has done 8 days of fasting. Let's have the big occasion and this, and then big have a procession and all kind of things. He believes that the auspicious inclination gives happiness and leads further to the liberation. The person wrongly believes that just by doing this fasting, etc., that gives auspicious inclination and leads to the further leads to the liberation. It's wrong belief. Why? You are aware of it that snakes and squirrels, when the fall comes, they start doing hibernation. They go underground. They reduce their body metabolism. They don't take water. They don't take food for 6 months. In the springtime, when the ground starts warming up, they start coming out. So they have 6 months of a fasting, non-stop, without food and water. So they should be really be honored at the greatest available means that we have it. Why don't we do that? And one person, she was telling me from India, said, I have done 30 days of fasting. She had done one time. She said, my husband has kept the ambulance on the driveway. If I feel at all any uncomfortable feeling, then to take me to the hospital right away. Wait, is this the reason you did fasting? To go to hospital? Just to put on your CV that I have done 30 days of fasting? And we believe that this is a religious act? Gosh, that's really, really amazing. Such living beings are called blind ritualists because they don't believe that soul is pure, eternal, and full of knowledge. They have no knowledge about the soul. They don't bother to know about the soul. When you start talking about soul and its nature and the infinite attributes and modes and everything, they start walking out of the class. This is too much. I don't want to learn all these things. Without having faith on such soul, he ends up with wrong belief. Because he believed that any bodily activity will be beneficial to him as a soul. So the neighbor eats the food and my stomach becomes full. Can it happen ever? You have your neighbor, he eats, and now your stomach becomes full. Does it happen? This neighbor eats, and this soul becomes full. Can it happen? It's a wrong belief. He believes that bodily acts are the soul's activity. I met one guy in USA, and he said, and a very religious-minded person, ritualistic person. And he says, Kirit bhai, we are given physical body. We are very lucky that to have this physical body. We really, really, really have to walk on this body and not to give food and everything. And we just have to do that way. I said, but what difference does it make to the soul when you don't give food to the body? He says, don't ask me all these questions. External austerity, vows, stay away from the women, means of celibacy, and gross form of inclination of attachment are considered as religious act. So these are the persons making mistakes. So the stanza over here is Baya kriya ma rajta antar bedana kai gnan marg nisheta te kriya jar ai. Over here, one is busy in the external rituals. He has not obtained discriminative science. He refutes the path of knowledge. Srimad Ji tells him blind ritualist. That's the meaning of the whole meaning of the stanza, 4 points. So, Bahya Kriyama Rajta, that's point number 1. One who is engrossed in the external rituals, that's point number 1. Antarbhedanaka does not have discrimination from within, point number 2. Jnan Marg Nishadha, furthermore, he is negating the path to the real knowledge. Teh Kriya Jad I, Srimadji, call him blind ritualist. So Srimadji is giving us 3 points over here for us to consider. One who is engrossed in the external rituals, does not have discrimination from within, negation to the path of knowledge. So we are going to look in this stanza in these 3 subgroups. We'll go one at a time. It will be fun ride, believe me, to understand all these things. Remember, Srimadji wrote down only 2 lines, but the enlightened monks and true teachers and everything, they have analyzed this one. And they expanded this stanza for our understanding. Otherwise, stanza is simply Bahya Kriyama Rasta, Antarbhedakai, Jnan Marg Nishedha, Te Kriya Jai. That's it. I just spoke the line and that's it. It's done deal. No. We have to go in detail and get, because this is what it is. Imbibing on those each and every word and try to understand what it means. You know, the right knowledge, Samyak Gyan, has eight characteristics. First characteristics is to pronounce the scriptural words appropriately. Bahya Kriyama Rachata Antarabedanakai Jnana Marga Nisedata Teha Kriya Jada. So your pronunciation should be proper, number 1. So that's the first characteristic of right knowledge. Samyak Jnana, enlightened knowledge. Second characteristic is to understand the meaning of each word that we recited. So that means over here, the 3 points are given. We have to understand the meaning of it. That's the second characteristic of right faith. And the third characteristic is to recite properly and to know completely. One may just recite completely, that's it. One may understand the meaning completely, that's it. No, one has to have both the things. And that's called third characteristics of right knowledge. So here we are trying to embark on the journey in which first one we recited this stanza properly. Now we are going to go through meaning of each and every point that we are talking about. One at a time we'll take it. Remember, here we are not in a race to complete it within given time. Whatever we learn has to be absolutely solidly understood for me. So that's what is more important. Some people told me, why didn't you start? Why didn't you go faster? I said, you know, if you don't want to attend the class, it's okay, but that's not my way of working, to just blindly just rush through the whole thing. No, we have to understand slow and steady wins the race. So one who is busy in the external rituals, number 1, point number 1, that's what we are embarking on right now. First thing, Bahya Kriyama, over here. Bahya Kriyama Rajta. Bahya Kriya is a word. In the external ritual is a word. So what is external ritual? What's an activity? What's a Kriya? Kriya means action. What is the activity of the living being? What does a living being can do? Me as a living being can do only three things. Living being can do only three things. To get engrossed in the innate state of the soul, to have altered state, to be in the altered state of the soul. Innate state is a pure nature. Altered state is an impure state. That altered state can be further divided into two: auspicious inclination, inauspicious inclination. So three things I can do. I can be in my innate state. I could be in the auspicious act. I could be the inauspicious inclination. Innate state means what? Sugar. Take the sugar. What does the sugar taste? Sweet. Was it sweet 100 years back? Yes. Will it be sweet 100 years from now? Yes. Will it be? Could this sugar be sweet in South America? Yes. North America? Yes. Asia? Yes. Europe? Everywhere you go, any place and any time, sugar will give sweetness because that's its innate nature. So soul will remain in its innate nature, knowledge nature. That is real, its real nature, which I'm not since time infinite. I could be, rather than auspicious, inauspicious. Since morning till now, you can count everything you did. What was the, or what was that? Auspicious activity, or I mean auspicious inclination or inauspicious inclination. I like this, I don't like this. Likes and dislikes throughout the day I have done it. I'm on the freeway, traffic is bad, I don't like it. I want to, I went to my work and I'm teacher and I like to teach. I'm hungry, there is not food here, I don't like it. I ate the food, I'm satisfied, I like it. So likes, dislike. Think about every activity you perform. Some of the activities you may say, no, there is no likes or dislike. Simply doing toothbrushing in the morning. There is likes and dislike there. Remember, some of the activities we may not be able to perceive to be in the form of likes or dislike because our knowledge expression is a blunted form. So lots of things that we do not recognize. Even activities I'm doing, I can't witness all the activities because in a blink of an eye, one eye blinking, one blink of an eye, innumerable time units pass by. Innumerable means million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, and more than that. That many time units pass by, and in each time unit, there is one activity of the soul occur. Did you realize that? Did you feel that? So my knowledge is blunted that I can't witness all the activities. Are gross form of activity. I did toothbrushing, I took shower, I took breakfast, I went to work, and those kind of thing I can perceive. But in one blink of an eye, innumerable activities occur which I'm not able to pick it up. So activities of soul, how are they? They are said soul's disposition means bhav kriya. What we are going to do is the word over here is a bhav. Word bhav is very important, and you have to get that name because I mean I have it's called soul's disposition, but it's not kind of, it just doesn't give total richness of the meaning of the word. Bhav. when we say word bhav, whenever that word bhav comes, you have to remember it's related to the soul. In contrast, there is going to be another word comes dravya, which will be coming in the next bullet. Dravya means matter, means an object, means a non-living thing. So bhav means soul's activity, so soul's disposition. So now soul's disposition could be two types: soul's pure disposition, Suddha Bhav Kriya, soul's pure disposition, or soul's impure disposition, Asuddha Bhav Kriya. So soul can have two types of disposition, pure or impure. This impure disposition means auspicious inclination, Shubh Bhav, or inauspicious inclination, Ashubh Bhav. So this is called Suddha Bhav, number one. This is called Shubha Bhav. This is called Ashubha Bhav, means pure inclination, auspicious inclination, inauspicious inclination. Three things I can do, that's it. Three things I am capable of doing, that's it. Now on the other side, material disposition, as I said, word dravya will come. Dravya means material dispositions. This bhav means a soul, dravya means matter. Then this word comes, it will come quite often with different perspective. Bhav punya, auspicious activity of the soul. Bhav pap, inauspicious activity of the soul. Bhav ashrav, the inflow, inclination of the soul. Bhav bandh, inclination of bondage of the soul. Bhav samvar, the beginning of the purity of the soul. Bhav nijara means an increase in the purity of the soul. Bhav moksha, complete purity of the soul. So word bhav will come so many places, it will always show the soul, 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 soul. On the other side, dravya pap means matter inauspiciousness. Dravya punya means a matter auspiciousness, matter auspicious karma. Dravya asrav means a matter inflow. Dravya bondage, matter bondage. Dravya samvar means the karma stop coming to the soul. Matter nirjara means karma getting shedded off from the soul. Matter moksha means karma completely going away from the soul. What I'm trying to say is, whenever the bhav word comes, always it is related to soul. When the dravya word comes, it is related to matter or karma particle or physical body. So these are the things we should have to have pretty good understanding. And here, that matter dispositions are also two types: pure matter dispositions, Suddha Dravya Kriya, or impure matter disposition, or Suddha Dravya Kriya. So what we are going to do is, we are going to analyze 1, 2, 3, and 4 things and understand the activity that living being performs. And then those 3 points that we talked in the previous slide, we'll be going through that one to understand this stanza about the blind ritualistic person. Any questions so far? We have a minute or two remaining, so any questions, if you have it, we can entertain the questions. You can unmute yourself and ask questions. Okay. If there are no questions, then we will just do the closing, okay? जी स्वरूप समझा विना पाम्यो दुख अनंत समझाव्यो ते पद नमो श्री सदगुरु भगवन परम पुरुष प्रभु सदगुरु परम ज्ञान सुखदाम जेने आप्યું બાનની તેને સદા પ્રણામ દેહ છતાં જેની દશા વર્તે દેહાતી તે જ્ઞાનીના ચરણમાં વંદન અગણી जावाणी के ज्ञान से सुजलो कालो सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देत हूँ जय जिनेन्द्र
Jai Jinendra, uncle. Thank you.
thanks a lot bye
Jai